Thank you for listening to English with Monty. For bonus episodes, to test your English grammar, book a free 30-minute trial lesson, or to access our conversation group in London, go to linktree/English with Monty. linktr.ee/English with Monty. Today we're talking about what books you can read in English. Hello there and welcome to Amy in English. I've got Gideon. Hi Gideon, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you, John. How are you?
I'm very well, actually. Today, I thought we'd do some essential idioms, and I know from our brief chat earlier, not all of them are idioms. Shall we start off with the ones that are not idioms, and you can explain why they're not idioms?
Well, maybe they're idioms, but sometimes people mix up expressions in idioms. If things can be literally done, then they're not really idioms. Better late than never is not really an idiom. It's just an expression. Rings a bell. You're not literally ringing a bell to remind you of something. So that would be an idiom. So I question the first one here because you got keep your fingers crossed, because sometimes you do literally keep your fingers crossed. So I think, is that an idiom or not? I don't know. You can literally do it.
It's probably quite a universal expression, that one, isn't it? I mean, obviously, if you're keeping your fingers crossed, you hope for good news, really, don't you? That's the idea.
Yes, you don't get your fingers crossed in the hope for bad news. Yes,
No.
exactly.
So if you release one of your YouTube videos, keep our fingers crossed, you get a few 100,000 people watching that one.
A few 100 million, most of the planet.
That's the kind of league we're in now, aren't we?
I exaggerate to make it more interesting. I think they say that in other languages, though, don't they?
I think you're definitely right there. I mean, it is pretty universal, isn't it? I would have thought most people listening to this will know that.
It's something to do with religion and Christianity and the cross. Anything with a sizable Christian population, probably in their language, they might have that.
Definitely.
Touch wood has a similar expression.
It's kind of more about superstition, isn't it?
More about stopping bad from happening. All will go well, touch wood, and it's about touching the crucifix or something. So it's very similar.
So that's probably pretty universal as well. Come out of your shell?
Are you asking me to come out of my shell, or are you asking me about the idiom?
I'm asking you about the idiom.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I think sort of shy people, then when they blossom and become the person they're supposed to be. So this person's come out of their shell. Now look at them. Star on reality TV.
It's about being more confident, isn't it?
Yeah. A shy teenager sitting at the back of the class.
Reading Catcher in the Rye.
Reading Catcher in the Rye, throwing paper airplanes across the classroom.
In full swing.
Like this podcast. Started off slowly, but now it's in full swing.
What are you talking about? It started off quick, didn't it? It was amazing from the beginning.
Yeah, but I want to use the expression.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, I suppose it's having reached a very lively level, it says here.
Are you reading the definitions? Don't you know them without reading them, John?
I think it's interesting to see the definitions, though, because I don't always think they're completely correct. Because in full swing, I wouldn't necessarily have given it that definition. It's quite good when you think about it that way.
In full swing applies earlier on. It wasn't in full swing. You have a party is the obvious example. You have a party and a few people turn up, but by midnight it's in full swing.
So people are dancing, jumping into the swimming pool, everybody's downing shots.
Oh, I was thinking we're on our second hand of bridge and we've just opened a bottle of sherry. As a joke. The different parties we go to.
Some of the best parties you've had.
You see, there's a different life. You have indoor swimming pools in the parties you go to and loud music.
Every night. What about being head over heels in love? I guess you are.
Head over heels in love with your podcast, John.
Wow, that's lovely.
So is everybody, or they wouldn't be listening to it.
Quite a good visual thing, isn't it? Head over heels in love. It's like you're almost falling down a hill, isn't it? You're like, oh my God, I want to express my love, and falling over yourself almost, isn't it?
Oh, is that what it means? I thought it was because you just did a handstand or something. You were so happy.
Oh, maybe as well. And do you keep up with the buffets? I mean, the Joneses. But what's a good French surname?
Dupont.
Yeah, are you keeping up with the Duponts?
I think you're referring to the idiom that is keeping up with the Joneses, which means to try hard to stay or to beat the material success of your entourage, because if they have a good air fryer, then you have to have a better air fryer. If they have a good car, you've got to have a better car. If they've got a good phone, you've got to have a better phone.
Good scooter, you've got to have a better scooter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what's called keeping up with the Joneses. Don't have an air fryer, by the way. Or a
I
car. I got to keep up.
You've probably got a better
The reason
scooter.
is it's when you push with your feet, though.
Are you over the hill?
Indeed, I am over the hill. But then again, over the hill has two meanings, two contradictory meanings. Have you noticed that, John?
Does it?
Yeah. So over the hill means I'm too old for this. I'm over the hill. I'm too old to do this bloody podcast with you, John. I'm over the hill. I'm going to retire on my millions to go and take my yacht around the Caribbean. So that's the first meaning, isn't it? Well, we're over the hill now. It's all downhill from now on. It's all good. We're over the hill. No?
We don't use it like that, do we?
It's all the difficult stuff is behind us.
But
it's downhill from now on can mean it's going to be easy now, because going downhill is easier than going uphill. Life's gone downhill. It means it's getting worse.
Yeah, I think downhill from now on is maybe one that you're thinking about.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
It's easier from here, isn't it? It's like we're at the top, so therefore we'll be okay. Over the hill, really about being too old. It says here as well about being no longer useful or attractive. What happens if you weren't attractive to begin with?
Whatever. I don't know. You're reading the definitions.
I think that's a strange definition, that one. What about being in the same boat? So I'm not over the hill, so therefore we're not in the same boat.
Of course, you can literally be in the same boat. We both go to Ramsgate and take a boat to France. We'll be in the same boat. That's not what they mean, is it?
It's not what they mean, no.
We're in the same difficult situation.
It is about a difficult situation, though, isn't it, that we have to talk about?
So I lost my job and my girlfriend ran off with the milkman, and the same thing happened to you, John.
I know.
Milkman.
What are the chances of that?
We're in the same boat.
And they don't even deliver milk in France either.
Exactly. Two people in a similar situation, so we're in the same boat.
Yeah, but it has to be a difficult situation, doesn't it?
Difficult situation, yeah.
Have you ever barked up the wrong tree?
I'm sure I barked up the wrong tree. It means that you're not understanding this correctly and you're in the wrong direction. I don't know if I mentioned it like 100 billion times, but I make YouTube videos more than once, actually. I had someone write to me, your videos on learning English are great, but I'm learning German. Can you make the same videos, but in German? And I don't speak German. You're barking up the wrong tree. This is not going to work. It was a true story.
Maybe you should learn some German then. Maybe that's the moral of the story.
Not sure how popular I've become. It's a struggle even getting people to watch my videos in English, let alone German. Anyway, that was my best example.
Come rain or shine.
I like this because it contains a subjunctive, doesn't it?
It does indeed.
Good times and the bad, come rain or shine. I'll be here for you, John.
Oh,
I'm not just a fair weather friend. That's another idiom.
I mean, I think that's the great thing, is that even if it is really raining, you came and visited me and John O'Groats and it rained and you were there.
Exactly. Oh. Maybe I'm using it quite incorrectly, because come rain or shine, I can look at your definition. It means all the time, doesn't it? So I come to work, come rain or shine. I have to do this, come rain or shine, whatever the situation. This must be done.
Exactly. That's the way of using it, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is the last one. So in the nick of time.
It means just in time, at exactly the right moment. My extremely boring neighbor was talking to me, and I thought, oh no, this is going to go on forever. I need to make an excuse to get rid of him. Oh, John's here. Oh, hello, John. You arrived in the nick of time. I do have a neighbor who's a bit boring.
Only a bit.
Stop me. I dread meeting him on the stairwell. We just talk about things strangely and at great length. I'm in a hurry.
It's good.
Get out.
It's good for your French, though, isn't it? You know.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know much speaking. It's mostly listening practice.
Thank you very much, Gideon. Hopefully those are useful for listeners. Thanks for joining us, and you've been listening to 8 Minute English.